Welcome to the Better with Daffnee and Torri show,
where we break down millennial life and all its chaotic glory.
We're here to navigate the wild world of adulting, no filters, no fluff, just real talk.
Because sometimes being better just means being a little less lost together.
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Better with Daffnee and Torri. We are so proud of ourselves for not looking extra homeless and using our video. And if you're watching it, it means you're on YouTube watching our video right now. So
if you like this video format, tell us, because we did a lot of work today, such as I almost brushed my hair to be here visually for you all.
Part of our goal here, part of our brand is just being relatable. And for so long, we did not do video because we were like, oh my gosh, I'm in gym clothes and this and that. And it's like, it's kind of most people. Like, it's fine. We're good here. We like ourselves enough to be like, this is acceptable still. So we are going to jump right in. And I have an opener for you, Torri. I want you to tell me if you are one of those people who goes over the top celebrating their birthday month, birthday party. What do you expect? Are you traveling? Do you get gifts? Or are you one of the people who just really flies under the radar for their birthday?
Okay, I'm an August Leo. I think that answers the question.
But you need to elaborate for people who are not horoscope people, because I know what that means.
You know what that means. All right. So I love my birthday. I love to be lavished in attention and gestures and gifts. I want a cute little outfit. I want to I really like to usually go away on my birthday weekend is what we usually do. I also then hang out with my friends. I want to maximize the celebration. And then actually my wedding anniversary is the day after my birthday. And one of the things that I made Charlie promise when we did that was that he would celebrate both. And he has all of these years done a pretty good journey of celebrating both my birthday on the 5th and then our anniversary on the 6th. So yeah, I love it. I love a birthday. Celebrate me, baby.
Good. Never lose that. When you turn 103, I demand a celebration.
Yeah. If I'm alive at 103, I think exponentially the crazier the years are, I'll have a whole a marching band. Are you a birthday girly?
Yeah, not probably as much as you. I'm always very grateful. Yes, I very much am like, okay, man, another year. It's great. Full transparency, I feel like when you have 3 kids, though, you have to make a big deal about theirs when they're little, and it's kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, it's fine. And also that my birthday is always very close to Mother's Day, so I'm like, Mike is very generous and always goes above and beyond for both, but I'm fine if we just hang out at home. I don't really, maybe that'll change later though. We've done some fun stuff in the past, but.
Would you rather do a big present or a trip or a gesture? What is really going to make you wake up on the day of your birthday and be like, yes.
So I love, my favorite thing ever is 2 nights somewhere not that far away, cute city. We can walk around, eat, shop, get coffee, go to a good dinner, see some scene. That's my favorite. And also it's totally not part of my real life because no one wants to watch my 3 children for me.
Aforementioned brood of children.
It's hard. And actually, this is timely. This is not why I picked this opener, by the way, but it is timely. Your birthday's coming up. For my birthday, Mike got us tickets to go watch the US Open in New York City, which is I've literally have been talking about this for 15 years. I love tennis, as you know. So this is all fun. He gives me the gift and I'm like, who's watching our kids? He's like, we're going to figure that out. We in fact have not figured it out. So it's very soon. So anyways, the gamut of things we've it's we even got to we're going to just bring all of them, which is also crazy expensive, and bring them all, fly into Long Island where his family is, and see about his family watching them for the day, and we'll take the jitney into the city. It's a whole thing, right? It's nobody here is going to watch my kids. Anyways, long story short is that's my favorite thing. New York City, like, even gosh, any small Savannah, just like a couple days with my dude, like seeing shit, thrifting, eating, drinking, like fun.
Yes.
Love that. But it's just not really part of our reality right now. But the cool thing is, like, I think it is soon. And I'm super excited about that. It's like much easier. Rex is potty training. Nobody wants to deal with that. I don't
I'm gonna
blame
change
them.
his diaper.
Anyways, all good. So, segue into our topic for today, which is a little bit loose, but relevant here. And the topic started as like in-laws, and I think we agreed would go into just family dynamics, in-laws, immediate family, brother sister dynamics, maybe some parent dynamics. Relevant to the birthday thing, obviously, because perhaps you celebrate your birthday with these people, maybe not. So, at a very high level, I want you to tell me about your in laws, your relationship with them, how you met them, what that experience was like, and how it's evolved over time.
Okay. Well, first, I will say, as in laws go, my in laws are so easy, mostly because I feel like they don't think about us at all. Like sometimes they're like, and I'm sure that is not factually true. But like Charlie and I met super young. We moved cross country. They were like, I guess we're just going to let this happen. But the first time I met my mother in law, I was trying to be helpful. And then I closed her car trunk down on her so hard. Like I was like, oh, let me help you with that. And I mean, 10 seconds after meeting this woman, and she like, I feel like crumpled in pain. And and then she was like, no, it's fine. But like, I am confident that she had a nasty and terrible bruise. But yeah, meeting them, honestly, I met them so long ago. Only thing I remember is slamming my poor
That's
mother-in-law.
pretty
with a trunk.
traumatic. I won't lie.
For her.
I think the people pleaser in me would be like, I'll never
Dying.
live this down. Yeah.
So the funny thing is that now anytime I go to close a trunk, I'm like, oh, don't get Lisa'd. And I'm like, I don't know how we turn this into my poor mother-in-law as opposed to something that I did, but that's how it's also important to note, super interestingly, Charlie and I met in December, and his parents, his now stepmother and father, got married like the day that Charlie and I met. And so I met them very, very shortly into their
Yeah.
being married. And Charlie's mom had passed away several years before. So this is my father in law as well as Charlie's stepmother.
Stepmom. I don't think I knew that.
Yes. So
Okay.
the dynamic is, I think, a little bit different. She doesn't have children herself. And
Mm.
so that also played into the dynamic where when Charlie was a teenager, she kind of was like, all right, well, you're a teenager, you're out in the world. So,
Mhm.
and my father-in-law is the most like boomery vibes. We don't like. So he called me on my birthday the very first year that Charlie and I got together. And then I think we both decided maybe that's not a thing we're going to do.
So, you know what I can appreciate though is that both parties kind of get that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think what makes like family dynamics tough sometimes is like when one person can't get the hint and like the effort feels uncomfortable and like the actions are uncomfortable. It's like we're not even in the same book, let alone on the
Yeah.
same page. And you're acting like we are sharing a sentence and it's weird. Right. And so I
Right.
can kind of appreciate that. Okay. So let me ask you this because I do know actually, aren't they the ones that live really close to me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's always interesting. I mean, I'll go hang out with them. Yeah, see how
You
that
should. They
goes.
drink great wine. They have
Yeah. Judge
Chris
for
is an
myself.
amazing cook. Lisa drinks great wine. So what's not to like, frankly?
So I'm wondering, because it does sound relatively low maintenance. I love that for you. I think
Yeah.
if there was a scenario that worked well, it's probably that. I'm curious, what are some things that you think would make your relationship with them like not great? Like, what are some things as a married person that would make the relationship with your in laws feel not very good or uncomfortable or icky or annoying or whatever?
Okay. I just forgot about this until we started talking about it right now. In 2021, Charlie had gotten really frustrated with his dad about his like dad's emotional availability and all these kinds of things. They had a fight, and I took that on as my fight. and we saw them and I wouldn't speak to them. I literally was in like an elevator or a stairwell with them and like sneered and was like giving off bad vibes. Charlie was like, we're holding the line. We're not talking to them. Like, this is done. And then I went to bed. We wake up in the morning and Charlie's like, I resolved everything with them and I feel so good. I'm in this great place. And I was like, I literally just met these people in a hallway and was like, hi.
I can't go back now.
How do you go back? And how I got back was we invited them to our home in New Jersey. And I got them absolutely shithoused on these margaritas that I make and ended up sobbing and crying in my backyard with my mother-in-law about how hard it was to navigate all of this. And then we all moved forward like kind of nothing had happened.
I kind of love that.
But again, because no one is like super emotionally involved.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
It wasn't hard for me to be like frustrated and ignore my in-laws that I didn't see that often.
Yeah.
Like, see them maybe like once or twice a year. You have a different situation.
Entirely. I do. I do have one more question for you though.
Okay.
What would you, is that scenario, that the fact that they are not very emotionally involved, I mean, no one is with each other and they're not involved to begin with in a way that could, other people's situations are. Do you think that's for the better, or do you see a scenario where you wish you guys were a lot closer and you talked more and you saw each other more? Like, what for you and Charlie, or maybe even just for you, like what's the ideal scenario? Is it the one that you're living in?
Yeah. So I think because I grew up in an emotionally uninvolved situation with my own parents, if they were like very involved, I think that would feel a little bit weird to me. But I will say we are very close with Charlie's aunt and uncle, who are basically like surrogate parents to us. Like when something goes wrong in my life, I am actually more inclined to reach out to them than I am to my mom or my father-in-law. So like we're very, very close to them. And like but we're still not like super emotionally enmeshed with them. I think in an ideal world, would we see my in-laws more than like once or twice a year? Yes. Charlie's like ideal world, right? And I think mine with my own family is everyone lives in a compound. I can come to your house once a week. I can watch the football game and like have all these because every time we hang out with our in-laws, it has to be this like intense bonding thing. We go on vacation and like we're trying to make these experiences mean a lot. But I will say I have a nephew who just turned 1, and that has been like a really great way for this like branch of the family to like connect with one another. We're all really prioritizing getting together and getting to like see him as a baby, and like Chris is being such a great grandpa and Lisa's being such a great grandma. So like it's actually really cool to see them evolve into those roles as well. And like they don't have to be my best friends, but they can be really great parents and grandparents and show up. Like I don't need them to show up for me. Other people in this system do.
Wow. I think I like this for you.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I don't need thinking adult support. What do you mean? But yeah, I think we're all at peace. Would you describe where you're at peace? Tell me. I'm dying. I've never heard this. When you met your now mother-in-law, what was that like for you?
You're trying to not laugh.
Was it good? Were you like, this is gonna be my new bestie?
It's actually a super vivid memory because Mike and I had started dating like very recently. We've like maybe gone out on like a handful of dates, and he was having a little get together at his house to watch a Florida State football game, and he invited me over. I want to say that he didn't tell me his mom was going to be there, and I remember kind of being like,
classic Michael move.
Classic Michael to be like, what? I forgot. What's the big deal? And so I came over and like met some of his friends, and I didn't even process that was his mom. Like he's weird about this. He's not gonna he didn't like go out of his way to be like, this is my mom. Like I feel like I was there for
like a normal person would have done, frankly.
Yes. Like I was there for more than 15 minutes. And it wasn't like a lot of people. It was like less than 10 people total, by the way. So it was like not a big scene. And I saw her, but like did not process at all that like that was his mom. And then but I could feel her staring at me. Oh, I mean, she's not discreet at all. So I could feel her like eyeing me, eyeing me, eyeing me. And then finally she walks over, and I mean, I've seen her do this even with like friends to this day that she'll meet of ours, and she's just like very like, oh, hello, I'm Mike's mom, and that's my son. And so, anyways,
My
it was like
son.
it was very uninvolved. We did.
son.
Yeah, I don't recall really like talking to her much. Anyways, we keep dating, obviously, and I will say that like perhaps the first 2 years, we've been together for 14 now. So like the first 2 years, I think I was definitely still in this mode of like, I mean, I move slowly, and I am a very like, if there is a red flag I think I can avoid, I'll be in 2 years and then I'll be out. So I was like, at 2 years, I was not like, this is the man I'm going to marry and have kids with. Like I was still just really taking my time. And so I think I was still in this mode of like, I can just be nice to her no matter what. And I do kind of want her to like me, right? Like in case like because we were happy and fine, but like, yeah, I want her to like me. And there was a lot of things that I probably like could have spoken up about sooner, but was like, whatever, I'm not going to do that. Like she invited me to dinner and then like literally tried to convert me to her religion. This was like the 5th time I had seen her. And I was like, this feels rude. And I did say like, this is kind of rude and I'm uncomfortable and I'm never going to be your religion. So can we not talk about it anymore? And there were like little things like that. Right. Yeah. And then it just kind of kept progressing. I do feel like it wasn't until we like got married and started having kids because also like the stakes feel and felt lower, because it's like, whatever, if I don't really care for you, or if you're not that kind to me, or if you don't really show up for me and whatever, I'm like, it's like, what's the worst? Like, who cares really? Like, I didn't marry you. I'm not with you. I'm with your son. And so it just kind of was like, I don't know. I cared a lot less. And I do, and again, there was like 1,000 weird little things that I was like, this is super weird. I would never say that. I would never do that. I probably would never treat my child's like boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance this way, but it is what it is. And then we went through a patch of time where it was not good. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. Not good.
Did you sneer at them in an elevator?
I wish I could have.
It does feel good sometimes.
It would have made me feel good. Well, also to note that like Mike's dad has not been in the picture. He's like a deadbeat, whatever. But so this is really just his mom. And there, I think really from when we like pretty much got pregnant to like even just like a year and a half ago, it was just not good. Like it was just really not good. Like a lot of things were said and done. And, I'm just one of those people that there's a difference in my mind. You can call me out if you think I'm wrong. I think there's a difference between holding a grudge and just not being an idiot and forgetting how people treat you, right? 100%. Like if you treat me a certain way, I'm not thinking about it every night before I go to sleep. I'm not like, it's not contributing to my lifestyle one way or the other, but I'm also, I don't have dementia. So I'm not going to forget what you said or did that made me feel that way, or that showcased how I think you really feel about me. So that's been a really big point of contention, because she's very much somebody who will say things and do things and then very much be like, you live in the past where this is over now, as you can't let it go. You don't let it go. And I'm like, that's not a free pass. Like maybe you should think about how you make people feel with like your words and really your inaction and the things you don't say and the things that you don't show up for.
Yeah.
And so like, that's always been kind of like a thing we just do not ever see eye to eye on, which is actually really heavy and problematic for like the longevity of a relationship, And I will say maybe in like the last year, I mean, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but like I have spent a lot of time in therapy talking about my mother-in-law, because it just got to this point where I was like, I just cannot understand her. And we just do not see eye to eye on anything. And I'm like, I just don't know how to like be indifferent. I wanted to be indifferent. I don't really care. Her and I will never be friends. Like that's just never going to happen. Right. And I'm fine with that. But I also found myself
fine with that.
No. And this is like kind of where I'm going with that is like, I just want to be in a place where I don't dread her coming over, and like where I'm not like finding myself like complaining about it after she leaves.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. I was doing all of those things, which, by the way, is definitely been the biggest point of contention in my marriage, which is very embarrassing for me to admit. I will not lie to you. I'm mortified by the fact that in 14 years, the only thing Mike and I have genuinely consistently argued about is his mom. That is sad. So anyways, I think I just really got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to find a way to be indifferent. And I've come a long way, like a long way. I mean, there's probably literally 1,000 things I could have said to Mike about his mom in the last year. And I've said none of them because I'm like, for what? You know, that's still his mom. It's not going to get us anywhere. And I think now I would definitely say, and probably anybody who is around us would agree, that it's awkward. Like, it's unfortunately, it's not neutral. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. And I think that like she for certain cannot come to terms with the fact that this is how we are. She is constantly trying to like get in a little bit. And I'm like, it really just showcases that like you don't know me at all, because I don't operate that way. Like, I've cut out people for a lot less. And so I feel like I'm always in my mind kind of like, if you can just accept that like we can be respectful, we can be in the same room. I always say hi, how are you, whatever. Like, if she needed something, I would go help her. Like, there's a level of respect there. But like, you don't know the first thing about me. You don't know anything about my business. You're not close to my kids. And this has really been like the next stage of like why things are problematic. So I'm like, can we just be okay with this and like stop acting like something is going to change between us? And like, realistically, the only thing at this point that I feel like you should be caring about are like your grandkids, because you don't have any other kids. You don't have any other kids. Mike is your only child. You don't have other grandkids. Show up for them, and then I will absolutely respect you more. Right. And because those are my kids and that's my only priority anyway. Right. And it just always it still just feels like we're waiting for something to change. And, you know, Mike, of course, loathes all of it, hates being in the middle. He's like, you're kind of cold when she's around. And I was like, you know who you married. Like, you treat me a certain way and say and do certain things about me and to me. I'm not a doormat. Like, I have boundaries and I have no issue sticking to them. So I feel like his family, even his aunts and uncles, who we are, I would say, relatively close to, they also are like, oh, you know, she just loves you so much. And I'm like, you can say that till the cows come home. But until you have stood where I've stood and have experienced all the ways that she has not shown up for our family and the things that she has said about me, I'm not going to believe you, because actions do speak louder than words to me. And it's just kind of this. And for a while, I think too, like my biggest, like the thing that would really sit so terribly with me is that I feel like everybody always thought that I was like this crazy, fiery, hot-headed, like Hispanic wife, and like, you know, oh, I'm controlling and this. And I'm like, wow, if anybody actually even really knew that, like, I have encouraged Michael from day one to go see your mom, take her to dinner, do this with her, do that with her. I don't care. Like, what I encourage that. Like, I have never, the only times I have said like anything at all is that there was a period of time, especially when Rowan was first born, where he would put his mom before like our family. And I was like, you don't know how this goes, and I'm gonna tell you. So that's not acceptable. And so that was a point of contention. But Mike also, I think, got it immediately. Like, that was a very short-lived thing, and I was grateful for that. But it was never about like me or her. Like, that's just not at all how I operate. I'm a healed person. I'm not a jealous person. Right. I think it was just like, that was her expectation, right? Like, she was like, well, you better come put up my Christmas decorations for me before you do it with your family in your own house. And it was like, over my dead body. Like,
well, it's just crazy.
It's just why? What are we talking about? Like, what are we even talking about right now? It was like little things like that, which in the grand scheme of things, if that were to get back to the aunt or the uncle, it's like, oh, what's the big deal? And I'm like, because I have a 2-year-old that wants to put her Christmas tree up with her dad, and he works 1,000 hours a week. So like, this Saturday is the only time we can, and you're going to go to your mom's house. It is a problem. Like, it's a problem. So anyways, I know that was a lot, but I think all of it is to say that like, my wish and my goal every day, all the time, is still that like, I can just be more at peace with how it is, and that she can also figure that out, because it is still, there are a lot of things that she says and does, or does not do, or does not say. And I find it absolutely unbelievable. unbelievable. And I do not talk about it with anybody except for really you or my therapist, because it can't be Mike. And, you know, it is what it is. It is unfortunate because I don't feel like we have a lot of, like, neither of us have a dad in the picture. My situation with my mom is not obviously perfect. And so I'm like, yeah, so it is really tough. It's very, very tough.
So one of the things that I heard you say was that, the family members are like, "Oh, she loves you so much." And I think there's a little bit of a difference between familial love and
Mhm.
like relationship love,
Yeah,
right? That
I
like,
agree.
yeah, I believe that you love me, that like I have
Yes.
some value, but you don't see me, so you cannot actually love me,
Wow.
right?
That was beautifully said. Absolutely. And she will say things like, "Oh, I never, Mike's her only kid. I never had a daughter," or this and that. And I'm like, I think exactly to your point, everything, the way that she kind of functions feels very much like a list of check boxes. Oh, you're the daughter I never had. Like, you're my this. And I'm like, you, again,
It's inauthentic.
it's very, and as a Taurus, I mean, there are a few things I struggle with more than people who are not authentic and just don't listen. Like, they just don't listen. And
Right.
they're not here. Like, I don't know how to operate with people like that. And I mean, again, she would never think that about herself. And, it's a very, to me, is a very dead giveaway when like she gets here and it's like, "Oh my God, look at what Rex is doing. And he's been doing it for 3 months." I'm
Right.
like, and the thing is, like, I do think that his family coddles her, again, bizarre to me. She's
Yeah.
the oldest of three, and they treat her like she is an infant, and I don't understand it. And probably a big issue is that I refuse. I never have, and I
Right.
never will. And so I think it's jarring for her to be called out the way that I have called her out, especially if it's in my house or it's to me. I'm not going
Right.
to be quiet. Get out if you don't like it. And they are the opposite. And so I think it's a very, like, she's very unsure about it and it makes her uncomfortable. And honestly, I don't want her to be uncomfortable around me. I don't love that. It's not something I am proud of.
Right.
And also that, like, the inability to be accountable for like the things that have been done and said over the years is also literally insane to me. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable. I'm like, I'm not making any of this up, right?
Right. So one of
Delusional.
the things that I think is kind of interesting, Daff, is what we're talking a little bit is like the meshing of family cultures,
Yeah.
especially in your case. Like in my case, we're mixing white people cultures and white people cultures, and we just got like some white people cultures, right? But in your case too, like there's this like Hispanic part of
Yeah.
this where like strong independent woman, like don't
Yes.
like take no shit, and
Yes.
like the things that come along with how you're labeled with that, I imagine like also fucking suck. Like how,
Mhm. Mhm.
you think these things about me, but also, one of the things that you and I have in common, and I think keeps us sort of close, is we have distant relationships with our parents to begin with.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for families who don't have that, it is incomprehensible. The idea
Yeah.
that I did not speak to my father from the time I was 21 until the day he died. And he texted me and was like, "I miss you." And I was like, gross, weird behavior. That I speak to my mom every couple of months. Like that is sometimes hard for people who
Yeah.
have very enmeshed relationships to even like understand what that's
Mhm.
like. And particularly, I wonder too, like Mike is an only child. So there was that like enmeshment right out of the gate. I'm
Yes.
the youngest of six. You're the youngest of, not, you're not the youngest, but you're in the middle of like six, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so, there was never going to be a situation in which my parent was like following my every step and knowing what I
Right.
was doing and all of it. There's just too many of us to keep track of, frankly.
Listen, I think you nail it. Like, you completely nailed it too, in that like we just come as we are. Like, Mike came to this relationship being an only child, not his fault, not his doing, didn't pick it, whatever. And I came as I was, right? And
Right.
so just off the bat, absolute, like, I always joke that he would come to my mom's house for dinner with everybody and have like culture shock, right? It's just like so crazy. And I think too, like, I just, this is like such a cliche old school thing to say, that like actions speak louder than words, which I know I said earlier, but I really believe that. Like, I just, at the end of the day, like, you can text me all the time and check on me and this and that, but if you never come to see me or my kids, like, and you
And the
live
kids,
20 minutes
the
away,
kids, the kids, like that is the thing.
it's crazy. It is literally insane to me. And I think like, yes, I think that, again, it's a lot of talk about like, oh, well, we like Daphne's independent and she's this and she's that. And I'm like, yes, and you also want me to be a fucking doormat, and you want
Right.
me to pretend like all these things never happened, and you want me to treat her like she's some poor helpless victim who's had an actually completely fine life and nothing is really wrong at all and never has been. And I just am like, I like can't bring myself to do it. I'm not doing it. And so yeah, it's just like a kind of a merry-go-round. And I think also, again, going back to like, if we did not have kids or before we had kids, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you come over for dinner every now and then. Maybe Mike sees you, or he doesn't. I don't know. It's between you guys. But like, kids change. What, like, oh my God, like, it just changes a lot, because I don't actually care about anything the way I care about my kids. And so if like before I was speaking to my mom, she was the only grandparent around. She would go 6-7 weeks without seeing them,
Right.
but would tell everyone else in the family that she was like obsessed with the grandkids, and I'm a grandma now. And I'm like,
Yes.
again, I'm a Taurus.
Performative.
That it's so performative, and it
How
makes
dare you?
don't
How
use my
dare
kids
you?
to make
And make
you.
yourself on the internet.
It's bad. It really, and again, this is like all the stuff that I would bring up to Mike, and he'd be like, the irony being, and I don't know that like his family knows this, like Mike actually agrees with like 99% of what I think about this stuff. And I do think that he was super blind to it, because family dynamics, it was like, well, that's my family.
Right.
This is how she is. I love her no matter what. She's my mom. And I'm like, great. Don't ever stop loving her. And also, I am your wife. And if you think you're going to put your mom before me, then we shouldn't have gotten married, because that is not how I operate. It's not going to happen. And I think like that's jarring for people to hear. I absolutely know people will hear this and be like, that's crazy. And I'm like, it's not though. And guess what? We're in a significantly better place now, because Mike didn't marry his mom. And it's not Mike's job to make his mom happy. And that is another thing that I think people don't necessarily agree with. Like,
Right.
your job as a sister, as a daughter, even as a spouse, I would argue, isn't to make other people happy. You have to do that for yourself.
Right.
And I do think that, like, again, everybody's situation is different. Like, your in-laws, they are a couple. They're married. They have each other. Mike's aunts and uncles have been married for 25 plus years each. Like, Mike's mom is not. She got divorced when Mike was 4. I think she has never healed from it. I would put my life on it. She has never gotten over that. Her parents were married 1,000 years. And so I think she really carries a lot of like shame around that, unnecessarily, because I think it's not something to be ashamed of.
This is a pro-divorce podcast.
Yeah, we leave, get out. You don't like it, leave. So I think like she doesn't have as much going on in her life to then like warrant her not being around for the kids, or to warrant that like she's like has her own stuff going on, right? Like, if you were like, I'm traveling the world with my girlfriends, can't be there, I'd be like, fuck, that sounds awesome. But not because you're watching Dancing with the Stars at home.
Right.
Like, that to me doesn't math.
My mom is also single, and has been, but they got divorced like much later. My parents got divorced when I was 20. And just as a quick sidebar, Charlie actually met my mom the day that her divorce was finalized, and she got rip shit drunk and climbed on stage with Jimmy Buffett at the Orlando Convention Center, just as a sidebar. So that was Charlie. Like, maybe next time I would rethink introducing Charlie to my entire family, sisters, aunts, uncles, the day that my mom got divorced. But it is interesting how those excuses are really hard when you are a single woman. Like, and my mom kind of does similar things where she is like very she's like, I miss my nephew,
Yes,
her grandson so much, like, and then I'll talk to my sister and I'll be like, when was the last time that mom saw Jacob? And she's like, well, she hasn't really seen him. And like, same deal. Like, there is no excuse, there is no reason. And the flip side of it is, and this is the sad thing for me, is the way this plays out. Because now
Mhm.
Jacob is a teenager and he's like, do I have to go to grandma?
100%. Oh, yes. All
You
of
want me to
that.
go spend the weekend at the
And you can't even
cottage with
blame him.
grandma? And like, that stinks. And I
Yeah.
think it's like really sad. And of course, I am an out of state family member, right? I see my
Mhm.
nephew not that often. He never texts me back
No, yeah.
on account of being 14, right? But
Yeah.
as your kids like get older, it's going to show up for them as well. And that's like heartbreaking because they're wonderful, precious beings. And that's her loss.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that your mom genuinely thinks she's a good grandmother? Or do you think that she is like saying these things because she knows she's not? It's an honest question. Like, do you think she is genuinely like, I'm
Yeah.
doing everything I can over here?
I do not think my mom thinks about anyone other than herself and lives in a vortex of shame and guilt, and it is a spiral. So I
Mhm.
think she feels guilty and anxious that she is not doing those things. And then she hangs out with him, and he is a teenager, and that's not that much fun. And you know what is fun? Going to the yacht club and getting rip shit
Mhm.
drunk with your
Mhm.
friends.
Mhm.
And so even when so that is my sort of, I don't think she actually thinks
Hmm.
about any of us particularly as human beings, but she thinks about how it appears in the world, and what she should feel.
So it's interesting because I do think that my mother-in-law believes to a relatively large extent that like she is doing all the things. Like I actually think she thinks that. And this is also, I mean, again, in therapy, my therapist is always like, okay, like perhaps your expectations are they're your own, right? And
Yeah.
like that's not, and I'm like fair, and I've like, but okay, they are low. They are
Show up on the
low
grandchildren's
to
birthday.
begin with. Yes, like they are so
Christmas.
low. Where I'm like, I don't know, like I'm feeling like they're pretty low, and like it's still like not it. And so but like I almost feel like, and so like Mike has like a little bit more in the last year been like more on top of her about like come see them, come this and that, especially because she retired. She retired over 9 months ago. And so the whole thing that she really had to cling to before was that she worked full time, which okay, the whole world does. So I'm just saying, you live really close. Anyway, so once that changed, I was like, okay, like this will be a really telling
Right.
time. And it in fact was telling.
It was telling you what did not occur.
Exactly. And I think he definitely gets frustrated on behalf of like the kids and stuff too. And so like in the few times that like he's brought it up, she gets very defensive.
Of course.
And like he has
Boomer.
gotten mad because he's like, you have a lot of excuses. Like, I don't know how else to say that. You have a lot of excuses. And of course, like it's very triggering for her. And I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's triggering because she has shame or guilt. I think that this is going to be terrible. I also think that she's like a pretty self-centered person. Like she's not
Yeah.
going to do anything that inconveniences herself. So I actually think she genuinely thinks that like seeing them twice a month when she lives 23 minutes away is like
A lot.
above and beyond. Yeah. And so I've really grappled with and I've tried so hard to be like, okay, like I can't change her. She thinks that. She
Yeah.
thinks that, right? And I think it's just because like there's all these little nuances. Like basically where we are now is like she's retired. Okay. Again, Mike's an only child. She's retired. She has not dated anybody in 1 billion years. Like
Girl,
there's not
what
a
are
lot
you
going on.
doing?
Right. So she will come by like once a week to see them. But if, let's say, for example, last Saturday we had Rowan's birthday party, so she came over for that, she wasn't going to come over during the week, which she normally does.
Right.
So it's very like tit for tat, where it's like, well, I'm coming Saturday. I wouldn't come twice this week. And I'm
What else
like,
you got going on?
don't
Big
you
sale
miss
at
them?
TJ Maxx? Like,
I don't get it. Don't you miss them? Why wouldn't you come twice if you could come twice? Like I think, and again, I would never ask her that or say that because she would get super defensive and she does that easily,
Right.
but I'm just like, this is the question I have, right? And
It
like
feels like a natural question to me.
it's like, yes, and I'm just, but again, then it opens all these doors where I'm like, what am I even arguing about anyways? Like nothing, I'm not going to change her. She's not going to change who she is. And, I think you're right. I just think that as like the kids continue to get older, they are, I mean, I'll say now, and I don't know who'll be listening to this show, but one of my children, not interested. I mean, and I have made it a vow. I've never said a word about how I feel about her in front of my children,
Yeah.
and I never will because I have more class than that. But they've made up their own mind, and I hope it changes, to be clear. I cannot be super buddy buddy with her, but I want that for my kids. I was obsessed with my grandmother. My grandma was amazing. I want that for them. And I think maybe that also frustrates me, right? Is like that it's just I'm not going to change her. Doesn't I gave you 3 grandkids. And it was I don't know, it was just not enough. It's just not enough. So,
Ugh. Well, I hate that for you because it's not fair, and your kids are perfect, wonderful, perhaps a little bit terrifying gremlins.
fair. Maybe that's it.
But as a grandma, it's what you got to do is you got to show up, and like what a gift to be able to do that.
Mhm.
But we can't heal others, right? And I
Yeah.
think that's at the end of the day, it is not my job to heal the relationship between my spouse and his parents, and like really at the end of the day, these are complex interpersonal dynamics,
Mhm.
complex family dynamics, and like all we can do is, like you said, like look, remove expectations,
Yep.
show up, continue to like meet people where they're at. But you and I are going to be the last people to say, oh yeah, let me be a doormat for you because you think you're the primary person here, and just not happening.
Mhm. I think there's a lot of stuff on like social media about this that I feel like our generation is very quick to be like I'm not doing this,
Right.
and we get a lot of flack about it, and also no one's ever going to convince me that having boundaries and trying to improve the quality of your life because somebody else has kind of fucked it up isn't a good thing. Like,
Right.
and I think that's a big differentiator between like our in-laws ages and ours, which is like,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not like, trust me, if it was up to me, things would be a little different.
But this is that boomers are very resentful that millennials as children are like have boundaries. And like
Gosh.
boundaries are not something that my mom and like that generation understand. And that like I think back to like my grandparents, they thought that how I behaved was totally inappropriate, that I wasn't deferential to them. I'm like,
Yes. It is the
that's weird
boundary.
behavior.
It is very strange behavior. And listen, you're just our parents and like in-laws are probably just replicating what they also saw and like
Right.
sorry it sucked more back then. Like I'm not sorry that we're doing better now. But I agree with you like I don't know if I've told you this, but one of the boundaries that like I put in place when we like had started having kids was that like my mother-in-law is not allowed here on the weekend.
Oh,
And
right.
and that was like a huge thing, right? Because she did work full time, but also Mike worked 70 hours a week. And if
Right.
I don't get to see my husband at all during the week and I only have the weekend, I'm not sharing it with you because you haven't earned that privilege because you have treated me like garbage. So
Right.
I'm actually, but it was like a whole thing. And throughout the years, it's come up over and over. You don't let me come over on the weekend. And I'm like, you don't even want to be here. So I'm not actually sure what we're arguing about. But like, and the thing is, I'm like, you just want to see Mike. That's actually what I believe. So tell him to take you to dinner. Like I'm not going to say no, like go hang out with your son. I think that's what you actually want to do.
Right.
But like that was a boundary that I to this day have not let up on and I won't change my mind. And I'm like, well, you're retired now. So you can come over Monday through Thursday and you don't. And so like the issue was never my boundary.
Right.
Which I think people who don't like the boundary, I think we realize like it was never actually the boundary. There's
Yes.
like another thing.
And we have some great episodes on boundaries, how to have boundaries, how to communicate them. So if you haven't listened to them, go back and listen to them because I love I love a hard kept boundary, and doing it with family in particular is very challenging. And like, I imagine for Mike is so hard to do. I think everyone in my like generation, my siblings, we all have some kind of hard boundary where we aren't talking to someone. One of my sisters does not speak to their in-laws. And like, it was a decision that my brother-in-law made and was like, we cannot continue to do this, because one of the things that they did, Dap, is my nephew was going to visit them and they showed up late to the airport, and my nephew was a little kid and he was at an airport that he had never, and they showed up like an hour late and he was just there by himself.
Oh,
And they
no.
downplayed it. They like made it seem like no big and like, how dare you freak out about this? And that kind of was like, if I didn't want to mess this up, I would have shown up an hour early. I'll get lunch at the airport. Again, you're retired. All you're doing is beat bopping around. Like, what world would there be that you showed up late for this?
There's nothing worse to me than like the worst part of that story isn't that they left him there. It's that they are trying to justify, like, own it, grow a pair, own it.
Oh my God, we are so sorry. We are horrified. It'll never happen again. And now my nephew's like, I don't want to go visit them.
Again,
so like,
cannot blame him.
They are going to make the decisions that they're going to make. It's going to play out.
I have to share this one brief story too, because I think it's a good example of like something that was like in our mind was not okay. And I think potentially maybe a generational thing where it was like on her end was like, this is ridiculous. So long story short, we were out in like the little downtown area of where we live, and there's like a brewery with like turf and whatever, but like it's relatively open to the street. And so it's always very crowded. Blake was little. So like maybe this was like 2 years ago. So she was probably like 2 years old, maybe a little younger. And, you know, we go there and it's chaos, right? Because we're like chasing kids around. There's kids everywhere and like got to make sure they don't run out into the street. I think at that point I'm pregnant. So I'm like also pregnant. Okay. So anyways, my mother-in-law's there just talking in Mike's ear. She's not actually helping me at all, which is on brand. And
so fucking annoying.
It's, again,
she is who she is.
We got pizza and I'm like, I'm so hungry. And I'm like, Blake keeps getting up and Rowan needs help. And Mike and his mom are just eating while I have like 2 kids on. I'm like, okay, anyways. So basically Blake starts like walking off and my mother-in-law was like, oh, I will go with her. And I was like, thank you. Like that would be lovely. So they start walking and they're still within like, I can see easily. And my mother-in-law sees somebody that she knows from church. Well, she gets extremely excited when that happens because that's like her whole social circle. And she just stops watching Blake. Just doesn't pay attention to what Blake's doing. And this man is like kind of sitting on the turf or whatever. And I think the guy doesn't actually recognize my mother-in-law. So she is like going on and on and on about church and the pastor and how they know. And like, she's like, I've been going, and like, he looks confused. He looks like he does not, maybe he didn't actually go to the church. I don't know. And so what happens is Blake is like toddling around there and she goes and she straddles the guy and sits in his lap facing him, like right on his crotch.
I'm sorry.
Because she's a year and a half or whatever she is. Right?
Okay. I thought you meant your mother-in-law. And I was like, what? What kind of church is this? Okay. Okay.
Oh my God.
This is fine.
Okay. To be clear, my mother-in-law did not straddle anyone.
Okay.
Although I think it might, let me not. My
Let me not go that direction.
My almost 2-year-old straddled this man. Okay. It's the man that she is talking to. She's standing up. He's sitting on the ground. Blake's straddling him. And she starts jumping up and down like on his crotch. This is a stranger. Yes. Okay. I see it. And he looks, to be fair, like very uncomfortable. It's inappropriate. I don't care which way you want to swing it. it's a
Right.
stranger, and you can tell that he like kind of wanted to like pick her up and then like stand up, but he's like, I don't know her. I
Right.
don't think he processed that that was her granddaughter because she was paying no attention to her.
Right.
So I think I felt bad for the guy. So I get up right away because my mother-in-law throughout this whole thing doesn't stop talking, just talking and talking and talking. And he's like, okay, like trying to like get up and not hurt her and like
Right.
get her up. This went on, and Tori, I'm just sitting there watching this like with my jaw open. I'm like, grab my child off of this man's crotch,
Off of this
please.
stranger.
This stranger. And then finally he like kind of scoots and gets up, and then he's like, huh, and he doesn't even want to talk to her. He's like walking away. And then she kind of like grabs her, like, okay, whatever, and like walks back. And I'm just like shook because I'm like, listen, the guy, he wasn't creepy. Okay. Like he acted appropriately. Right. And that like, he was like, this is weird. And I'm not comfortable with this. But the fact that it was so lost on her and like so over her head that this all was just like not okay. And also to me is like, you care more about the conversation you're having at any given moment than about like watching my child. And that's a red flag for me. Like, I have one job, is to keep my kids safe. Right. So anyways, all of this went on, and like Mike saw the whole thing, of course, said not a word. I, in that moment, should have been like, that was not okay. You couldn't change and pivot direction and just pick her up. Like, and it turned into a whole thing because I basically did text her the next day and was like, I just need to share with you that was like very inappropriate and like made me very uncomfortable. And also like, good for you. You don't have trauma, but like I do, right? Because I had bad things happen to me when I was little, and I just know how this all goes. And so she like thought I was just the most absurd, overreacting. I can't believe it. This is what kids do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you're confused. I'm not mad at my kid. You're right. That is what kids do. Where were you?
That's not like, what adults do.
Adults, that's not what adults allow.
Children jump on adults without.
Like, I knew him from church, and I was like, I would question that. Didn't look like he wanted to be talking to you.
Nothing has ever happened with a strange man in a church either. So
okay, right. So, anyways, all of that. I know that was a long story. My point, I think, is that like she could not understand even 1% of like where I was coming from.
Right.
And Mike and I were like, that was really weird. And it like doesn't make me feel good about you like being alone with our kids or taking our kids somewhere in public, because it seems like your judgment is completely out of line with ours. And that's concerning. And I think like, again, at the end of the day, do I actually think my kids would be in harm's way with her? No. But if you aren't paying attention to children who run into streets and stick their fingers in sockets, like, yeah, that's like a problem. Anyways, it was nothing that ever got we never saw eye to eye on it. It was always an issue. I was even more uncomfortable with her, like being alone with the kids after that. And I know that his family thought I was crazy for that. And I was like, I don't really care. Like, you're not in this marriage. These are not your children. It is what it is. Like, I don't really feel bad about it, but it never fails to amaze me that it was just like so over her head, like just did not process it in any way, shape, or form.
I think there's a whole nother episode on exactly that, which is when you have family systems who are like enmeshed in that way. And then you as an outsider, like they think that you are weird and difficult and different. And you're like, this is just who I am. I think you guys are weird. So thanks so much for talking to me about in-laws, because I know it's kind of messy. I feel pretty good about my in-laws. But again, it's weird and messy and complicated. And I think we all want to have peace in our domestic life.
I agree. And I'm positive. Like, I do think like it can keep getting better. And I think the tricky thing is just obviously that like, you didn't marry them, right? Like you didn't like meet Charlie and be like, well, let me just examine your in-laws first. Like it's kind of just like this very default like situation that you kind of have to really try your best at. So, I mean, again, I'm optimistic that like we can keep going in a direction, hopefully, that like at least isn't so uncomfortable. But I love that. I think I would rather have it be like okay than like be where I'm at. And so even if it's not like amazing and you guys are not best friends, like I think that's good still. You have like a good little corner there, and that's fine in moderation the way that you guys have it now.
And I think most importantly, everyone's on the same page. Because I think in your dynamic, that's what causes some of the friction is that one party is totally unsatisfied and like wants more and wants to be able to do whatever they want. So when you have two parties who are pretty satisfied with the dynamic, I mean, I've never asked my in-laws if they're satisfied.
I would imagine that it would come up in other avenues, maybe, if they weren't, right? Like whether it was to like Charlie directly or maybe like something indirect or even passive aggressive. Like I think that you would know.
Yeah.
But again, they have each other. Like they have a life of their own. Like they have, I'm assuming, hobbies. They have stuff going on. So that matters a lot too.
I think especially the timing, right? That Charlie and I got together right after my in-laws got married.
Yeah.
So even though Charlie was only 19 or when he and I got together and I was like, yeah, we're going to move cross country together. They were sort of like, okay, you know, which I do not think is a rational thing for, I mean, my parents also were like, okay, whatever. Again, a general lack of parents in my life questioning decisions.
You guys just were allowed to do whatever. It's
very, very YOLO. All right.
Great show. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for listening. It is a little bit of a vent sometimes on this topic, but it was great.
You finished your book.
I did. I cannot recommend.
Did you start something new?
I did, and it's a stupid Colleen Hoover that I don't recommend, but I just like I needed like garbage to read. I started it yesterday. I'm almost done. It's like just God, her writing is bad. I mean, really, it's just I don't know how else to say that. Sorry, it's bad. It's bad writing. It's not good. Not
the
quality.
only one that I liked is Verity, and that was my entry point into Colleen Hoover. So
me too, and I was
like, I want more of this.
I wish I have never read another book from her that was like Verity though.
No,
because even though the story itself was good, I feel like the writing was literally better. And I feel like
that people think it's a sham, right? Have you seen this?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I went down a rabbit hole about this, about Frida McFadden, basically like just stealing and copying other people's stories, which is how she's able to like write them so quickly and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know about all that world, but I did finish A Fine Balance. And all I will say is that if you want a book with depth, true depth, like I think about Auntie Dina, Manek, Om Kaprash
every day,
and Uncle Ishvar every day.
I love it. It's on my list. It's on my to be read. And I am currently reading a book that you recommended, which is The Most Fun We Ever Had. And I, like you, am like, who? What fucking sister is this?
Wait, oh my gosh.
Because there's 4 sisters, and then there's mom and dad. I'm in 2 hours into 18 hours. So
okay, it's about to all come together where it's easy to follow with like whose storyline you're on. It's a great book.
I can't wait to get into it just because of like the sibling dynamics. I absolutely love that. Is it going to get?
I think when I first told you about the book, I thought about you and your sisters a lot when I read it. You will absolutely see why. And I will also tell you, and I don't know if I said this last time, it will make you love Charlie more.
Oh.
It's very, very sweet. It made me love Mike more. Like it was a really sweet, authentic like observation of two people who really loved each other. And it was like very beautiful. I'm excited for you.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Like, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. We were going to do a 30-minute episode, by the way. Here we are at minute 58. So
because I can't shut up.
We should have known the in-law topic was going to take way longer.
I know better.
If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, if you have questions, we'd love to respond to them. Leave them in the comments. And otherwise, I love you, Daff. So
I love you too.
To record with you today.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Better with Daffnee and Torri.
Be sure to hit 5 stars and leave us a review. Share the link with a friend on social media or through text.
New episodes drop every week, so subscribe today.